G'day there guys, how's it going? Markee here, back at it again with another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. Now with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the content, and tell me who you think is the a-hole down below. Posted by user iWriteCode1, titled, Am I the a-hole for not cleaning while my girlfriend works long hours as a nurse? My 23 male, girlfriend, 23 female, live together. My girlfriend is a first-year registered nurse, while I own a successful private server for a game that I developed. I also work from home and am doing well financially. My girlfriend and I agreed to split rent 70-30 as long as she does all the cooking and cleaning, and she happily agreed. Recently, she's been working longer hours and coming home more tired than usual. Our condo is generally tidy most of the time, aside from the dirty dishes in the sink, and our floors could use a good mopping. I just assumed she would get those chores by the weekends. I'm very patient and don't pressure her into cleaning things, especially nowadays since I know she's been working longer hours. Yesterday, as soon as she entered the condo, she broke down and started crying. I asked her what's wrong, and she told me she was crying because of all the dirty dishes. I tried reassuring her and telling her not to worry about the mess, and there's literally no rush for when the dishes get cleaned, and she shouldn't worry about them at all. After she calmed down and stopped crying, she got in the shower and got in bed, and she asked me if I could clean up the condo tomorrow. I told her I would try if I had time. Today, I completely forgot she even asked me about cleaning up, and the place looked identical to yesterday, except with a few more dishes in the sink. When my girlfriend came home, she was ticked and said I'm home all day and I contribute to the majority of the mess, and how easy it is to put the dishes in the dishwasher. I agreed and told her that I forgot, and if I have time tomorrow, I'll do it. But we made an agreement that you would take care of the stuff since I cover 70% of the expenses. I told her that I know she's working long hours, and I feel for her. That's why there's no pressure for when chores get done, but I also work long hours managing my business and can't just drop everything to clean the place. Especially, it's not even that dirty. I have no problems doing some of your chores, but only if I have time. I also told her that I don't think she has any right to get mad at me when we have an agreement on how chores are done, and I'm not getting mad at her for not doing what she agreed upon. Am I the a-hole? He's probably going to get mad at her for not putting out after all this too. God, what a saint in this community. You're the a-hole. Just because you pay more doesn't mean you get to literally do nothing. It could also be an everyone sucks here because it was a stupid agreement to start with. But the fact you can't even pick up the slack a bit when you're seeing she is working way more and needs help makes you the a-hole. She shouldn't even have to ask. It's like you're not even paying attention to what's going on with your partner emotionally or physically. You need to revisit this deal. It's totally normal for relationships to have each person pay proportionally based on income without forcing the person paying less to be a live-in maid on top of working full-time. If you are both working, you both need to clean. Even if one person ends up not working for a bit because they are ill or are a stay-at-home parent, the other person still needs to at least do basic cleaning and chores. The way you guys have your relationship set up in this regard isn't sustainable. My thoughts exactly. It was an immature agreement to begin with. Housework isn't something that only one person should be in charge of. Of course, the side doing everything would become resentful, especially when her partner can't even be asked to help out a little when she's obviously stressed out of her mind. You're the a-hole OP. So we have this kind of deal. I take care of 100% of the housework, cooking, pet care, yard work, all of it. I don't get resentful at all, probably because his side of the deal is that he pays for everything and is great about helping me if needed. If I was working full-time as a nurse, I would be resentful as hell. The problem isn't that one person is in charge of everything. The problem is that the time commitments here are way out of proportion. That's another very good way to word it that I didn't include. Each relationship is naturally unique, and different things work for different people, but yes, the point is that the workload itself is very uneven here when looking at everything from actual work to chores. You're the a-hole. If the apartment is not that dirty, it shouldn't take you long to clean it. Heck, not even clean it, but put your own dishes in the dishwasher. She's a first-year registered nurse working during a pandemic. She's probably stressed beyond belief. The work in your relationship isn't going to be split up neatly all the time. Maybe because of work, she can only bring 15% to the relationship right now, and you have to meet her with 85%. and maybe in a few months, or in a different situation when you're feeling especially stressed or low energy, she'll be able to do things that you feel unable to handle. Getting caught up in the way things should be is going to distract you from seeing things as they are and trying to put in an effort to support your partner when she is struggling. "We don't live in the land of should" is something I have to say at work much too often. Yeah, it should, but we don't live in Shouldland. Ah, Shouldland. The clean-cut kids cruise Shouldland Boulevard, and the Shouldland High football team gets their optimistic asses kicked by their crosstown rival, Reality Check Tech. Posted by user Children Trouble. Titled, "Am I the a-hole for limiting my daughter's reading time? She's super mad about it." So, my, 41 male, have a daughter, 16 female, and she likes reading. So, when libraries were still open, she went and got like 15 books. And she even has a list of books she wants to read, 30 plus books on the list, and she even has access to a website so she can read. I'd be totally fine with this if she didn't spend the whole day reading. Sure, she still does chores, but any free time she reads. I don't want it to affect her eyesight, but she doesn't even watch TV anymore, and any time not reading or doing chores will be spent talking to her friends. She is a very social girl and has lots of friends, but I feel this is still impacting her social and home life. I lost brain cells thinking about the stupidity of this person. It's become an issue so much that taking her phone doesn't work. Her brother is becoming more easier to work with, since sometimes she gets zoned out, and we have to shake her back to reality. This seems like a troll post. So we have this chore list / timings. Her brother, 15 male, does chores 2 days a week, while she does the same chores 2 days a week, and I and my wife do the rest 3 days a week, with some help from the both of them. Everyone has to have their rooms cleaned by the end of the day, no matter what day. So today was her day to clean the dishes, to set the table and clean the living room area, and help her mother or me with cooking. So she did only 2.5 out of 4. She didn't clean all dishes, and the help she gave wasn't satisfactory. It was rushed, and I had to threaten her books to make her help her mother with less rushing. When I found out she only cleaned half the dishes, I told her to clean all of them because she forgot. And then while she was cleaning, I took away her books and put a small note on her computer that she's banned from the books websites. When she found out, she went ballistic, saying that it's so boring in quarantine and that I'm being so mean to her. I told her she can talk to her friends or watch TV. These books are not everything. She started arguing more and more, literally pleading. God, how pathetic that someone would plead with me when I take away their only source of entertainment. And I told her fine, but she can only read an hour a day. She told me I'm being unreasonable, and now is ignoring me and probably venting to her friends or something. I think a good solution here is we only let him have his wife once a month. Let's see how that goes for him. She keeps saying to at least let her read online, but my answer is the same. My wife told me I should stop it, and that I should be encouraging her to read, not the opposite. I told her that she should take her chores more seriously, and both my wife and my son disagree with me, since him and my daughter are close. I just need to know, am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. Really? Reading a book is much preferable to watching TV and the internet. This sounds like a joke anyway. I freaking love reading. I switched to ebooks because I have a problem and have literally hundreds of books and can't carry them, and like to read every spare minute. My parents also tried taking away my books as punishment. All it did was make me resent them for cutting me off from the one thing that kept me sane. And it made me read sneakily and start keeping what I liked secret from my parents. If you punish your child's passion and imagination, they're going to stop trusting you with either of those. Books are an escape that we need right now with everything going on. Also, I'm pretty sure the eyesight thing was a myth. But if she has a good social life and does what she needs to do around the house, then why on earth is her own form of entertainment and escape being judged and managed? And now a word from our OP. Edit. Alright, I read through a few responses. Going to watch Matilda today or tomorrow since so many people referenced it. So I gave her back her books, but have limited it to 3 hours, and I think that's enough. She seems okay with it. My wife is still a little reluctant on it. I think she has more than enough time during the day for those 3 hours. and I have allowed her access to online websites, but told her if she does this again, 1 hour ban is back. So yeah, I guess I'm the a-hole, I get that. Posted by user, deleted, titled, Am I the a-hole for not cleaning up my butt rags? As ludicrous as this sounds, my wife is still out on a jog after shouting herself hoarse at me, and now that the kids are doing their online schooling in the basement, I finally have time to write this and see if what I did really warranted being screamed at. When I was growing up, my mother was very particular about teaching us to clean properly down there. We were taught that after you're done using the rag, just toss it in the corner of the shower, and my mother would pick them up while doing laundry. I understand that to some people, this may seem a little strange, but it's just how things were in my house. My wife and I have been married for 11 years, and she has known about this habit of mine since we were still dating. I managed to hide it from her for the first few months, but she kept asking why I never showered at her apartment, so I eventually confessed. The look on her face was absolutely priceless. I work 60 to 70 hours a week running my online business, while she's a stay-at-home mum, so she does all the housework, minus dishes and taking out the trash. Those are the chores she hates doing most, so I do them for her. Lately, she's been asking me to clean my butt rags. That's what she calls them because she's tired of having to deal with them. I told her if she wants me to do laundry, which is also on a daily task list in our house, instead of dishes, I can clean them up. But if not, cleaning up the shower rags are a part of laundry duties. This argument has been going on for weeks now, and it all boiled over this morning after I took my shower. I came down for breakfast, and my wife asked me if I cleaned up my butt rag. I told her if she was planning on doing the dishes after breakfast, I would be more than happy to take care of the laundry today. We bickered back and forth for a few minutes, and that's when our 6-year-old daughter piped up with, "I'll clean up Daddy's butt rags for you, Mummy." I burst out laughing, but my wife went ballistic. She told me I should be ashamed of myself, thinking this was funny, and got even more mad when I suggested our youngest is now old enough to start earning some money for doing chores. Anyway, so why not? We pay our son to do yard work, and my other daughter gets paid to clean the windows, so our youngest would want to start earning her allowance eventually, right? My wife flat out told under no circumstances will she allow our child to clean up my butt filth. New term she invented just this morning, and then went out for a jog. She's been gone for almost an hour, and I'm getting a little worried now because she's not responding to my texts. Am I the a-hole? Edit, I think I may have worded some of this post poorly. The shower rags are only for cleaning that specific area while I shower. I use toilet paper after going number 2. I do not leave poopy rags in my shower. It's so childish. I can't get over this stupidity. I gotta say, this is a first for me. You're the a-hole because regardless of distribution of choices, nobody should have to touch your butt rags for you. OP's description of chores is pretty arbitrary too. Why can't laundry be subdivided a little? Your wife wants to make your butt rags separate from laundry in the chore division. That really isn't unreasonable. Now, considering she is the one who introduced the butt rag topic over breakfast in front of the kiddos, it's not fair of her to blame you about the 6-year-old butt rag topic. But dude, straight up, take care of your own personal hygiene and your own personal hygiene products. If your wife left her period care supplies around for you to throw away, would you get annoyed eventually? Well, trash is one of his chores, so she should leave her used period supplies out for him to throw away. Just toss that tampon in the corner, and hubby will pick it up when he deals with the trash. Yes, this is a perfect illustration of what I was trying to say, but said poorly. There are household tasks and there are personal tasks. No one should be embarrassed about cleaning themselves or dealing with their period. But because it's something so intrinsically and inherently theirs, it really is unreasonable to expect someone else to bear the burden of dealing with it. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances, but assuming both OP and spouse are fully functioning adults, this here is facts. Posted by user NextTax0, titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to do laundry until my girlfriend throws away her stained underwear? A bit of a TMI warning for this post, but I'm sure you're expecting that. My girlfriend and I take turns doing laundry. Over time, I've noticed a lot of her underwear is stained in some way. Most of the stains are discolored in the crotch area, but she straight up has 2 pairs of period-stained underwear. I'm gonna be honest and say it's fucking disgusting. All of it, not just the period underwear. 0 of my underwear is stained, and if it were to be, I would throw it out like a normal person. I've expressed to her that it makes me uncomfortable to touch her stained laundry and that she should throw it away. Otherwise, I will no longer do any more laundry. She told me it's not dirty and it's a waste to have to buy new underwear all the time. In the end, she didn't do what I wanted. I asked again and she told me to drop it. I'm really upset she's ignoring my concerns. Not to mention now it's getting worse. I'm losing attraction to her and I don't want sex because I don't know if she could be wearing stained underwear. It happened once and I was instantly turned off. I couldn't even look at her. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. Did you know that the acidic nature of vaginas naturally stain underwear? If women had to buy underwear every time they became stained, they would be buying underwear every 2 to 3 weeks. This is exactly what I wanted to say. Especially darker pairs will naturally bleach over time, and there's absolutely nothing we can do to control it. And also, honestly, I've kept pairs of underwear that were unfortunately stained by my period for the sole purpose of continuing to wear them during future periods. I call it my period underwear, and wear it to minimize the damage to my other, non-stained undies. Hopefully I'm not alone in that, lol. Honestly, about 30% of my underwear have stains, and I'm not ashamed. Also, my boyfriend has never cared. A tip for period stains is hydrogen peroxide. Still stains a bit, but not as bad. OxyClean also works wonders. You're the a-hole. Discoloration at the crotch is normally due to discharge. It is completely normal and natural. As for the period underwear, it's normal for girls to have a few pairs designated to just their period, since they will let stained with blood. But buying new underwear every period is both ridiculous and expensive. I used to prefer black underwear for my periods once, since it didn't show as badly after it was washed. I now use period underwear that have built-in reusable pads, so it's no longer an issue. Edit to add, it would have been more reasonable to say you would not wash her clothes, or even just her underwear, but saying you won't do any laundry including your own seriously makes you the a-hole. This comment section is so reassuring to me. I didn't know how much my stains were just me, but apparently it's everybody. Mine look more like bleach spots than stains. It's like it strips the color out somehow. Posted by user Federal Air 1, titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that our daughter doesn't get a pass just because she's a girl? I have 3 kids. The 2 oldest ones are a 14-year-old girl and 16-year-old boy. My wife and I have agreed in the past that the minimum expectation for our children is not about performance, but about effort in all areas of their lives, socially, academically, and athletically. All they have to do is simply give a damn about all 3 things. We don't expect excellence everywhere, just effort. Our son, for example, was prone to being very antisocial and spent time in his room playing video games, even though he had friends in real life. It took a lot of effort on our part to get him to understand that playing video games shouldn't be a solitary activity, but a social one, and that if he wants to play, he should be doing it with friends in order to socialize. The alternative could lead to bad habits and social isolation. He still preferred to play alone, but he at least made an effort to include other people on occasion, and that's all we could ask for. We have a similar struggle with our daughter, only in the athletics department. She simply doesn't like sports and makes no effort to keep herself in shape. I get that culturally, team sports like the one our son plays don't often appeal to girls, so I have tried to push her to take up other physically active hobbies like swimming, cycling, and dancing, but to no avail. My wife used to be with me on that, but she seems to have relaxed her standards when it comes to our daughter, and the current situation has only made matters worse. She says that as long as our daughter stays healthy and relatively thin, we should be happy and not push her into things that she has no interest in and isn't good at. I told her that simply keeping her thin and healthy wasn't the point, and reminded her of how we treated our son. He still had friends, but we pushed him into involving them in his activities so as not to build bad habits, and I told her that I feared the same thing for our daughter, that if she doesn't learn the importance of working out now that she's still young and impressionable, then she won't be healthy and thin for much longer. She said that our daughter's habits are fine, and that she's healthy, and emphasized that I shouldn't be obsessing over our daughter's body and appearance so much, because teenage girls can pick up stuff like that easily, and they can develop complexes and disorders. I denied doing anything of the sort, and said I haven't once criticized her appearance, though I admitted I would if she ever got fat. Oh, Jesus! And then accused my wife of having double standards for our kids. She of course denied she has double standards, and accused me of being too harsh and not realizing that each person is different and has different skills and interests. I told her that I won't give our daughter a pass just because she's a girl and doesn't like sports, and warned her that she better not undermine my efforts to help our daughter develop good habits that will last her a lifetime. Am I the a-hole here? I feel like a lot of people are going to be really divided on this one. Though I admitted I would if she ever got fat. This is where you lost me. You're the a-hole. You're not trying to encourage these qualities in them for their own sake, but for appearances. And you've outright said you'll bully your daughter if she doesn't live up to your standards for her. That's pretty harsh in my opinion. Furthermore, let me tell OP, as a woman that got criticized constantly by my father for my appearance while I was a girl, this will most likely drive her emotionally away from you. There is nothing that hurts a child like the feeling of being resented by their parents. Don't do it. Also, you're the a-hole. Everyone sucks here, lightly. I'll probably get downvoted to oblivion for going against the tide, but I read your post in a nutshell as, regardless of gender, I want my kids to be well-rounded in social, academic, and athletic interests, and I personally agree with that. I think that's fair. You state your daughter has no interest whatsoever in athletics, yet you are doing everything you can to encourage it. I agree with you that team sports teaches a kid a lot of concepts useful as an adult. It can teach compassion, resolution, teamwork, working with difficult people, and following direction while staying in shape. I grew up in a house where my mum had this old colonialism mentality that physical exertion was for peasants, for real. I still joined the high school track team and was a cheerleader, but I honestly wish my parents had incorporated physical fitness as a normal routine for my siblings and I. We all grew up and pretty much have or had white-collar, sedentary jobs, and the idea of doing anything remotely physical is seen as a chore. My idea these days of physical activity is house cleaning, hefting groceries, walking downtown to get an ice cream cone, or walking at night when the temperature is cooler. It does seem to me your wife is implementing a double standard at home. I would continually just encourage your daughter to choose a physical activity, regardless of what it is, so she can find a physical activity she can enjoy. I would look outside of school if those options for potential interest have been exhausted. There may be other recreational leagues for rugby, ice skating, lacrosse, golf, roller derby, etc. And I get it could be interpreted as an a-hole-ish thing to mention that if your daughter did ever gain weight, you would mention it. You may be the a-hole there. It all depends on your delivery, to be honest. So be kind and constructive. Dads have way more influence on their daughters than they realize. Studies show that the way girls interact with their fathers has a direct correlation as to how they interact with significant others down the road. Also, your wife and yourself want to set a foundation of a lifetime of good habits. You should have been laying the bricks when they were in elementary school, not high school. But what's done is done. Don't beat yourself up and just keep trying. No a-holes here. I would like to first point out the appalling number of You're the A-hole posts purely because OP said he would criticize his daughter if she gets fat. This isn't fat shaming. Not every post that includes criticizing a teenage girl getting fat immediately translates to fat shaming. From what I gather from OP's post, getting fat is a sign of her unhealthy habits catching up to her, and hence he is criticizing her for it. Nothing in his post suggests that he is finding her being fat as unattractive, and the fact that any other constructive comment by OP getting downvoted further shows the type of people this thread is being brigaded by. OP is not in the wrong to want his kids to lead a healthy lifestyle, but his wife has a point, that pushing your kids too hard to make them do something they do not want might make them resent you for it. Ultimately, if you want to maintain a good relationship with your kids, you need to find a good balance between the two, which I cannot provide the answer. Posted by user ThrowawayZip32123, titled, Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to stop using her body pillow? Okay, so my girlfriend moved in with me at the beginning of the pandemic. We've been dating for about 6 months, but her lease was up and it just made sense. Anyway, when she moved in, she bought this 5-foot long body pillow that she insists on sleeping with every night. It kinda pees me off, because we'll be cuddling and then she'll turn away and wrap herself around this pillow when I'm literally right there trying to snuggle, not even asleep yet. It's been bothering me for a while because it feels insulting, like she doesn't even want to fall asleep in my arms. I've never dated a girl who didn't want to cuddle all night, and I'm hella confused. Anyways, this morning I asked her to stop using the body pillow and just cuddle with me instead, and she said no because it helps her back, and she gets too sweaty cuddling with me all night. That really hurt my feelings, and I called bullcrap on it helping her back. It's a fudging pillow. She said I was overreacting, and I told her if that she thought so, then she could start sleeping in the guest room instead, because I'm not about to get rejected every night for a fudging pillow. We kept fighting for a while, but she's been giving me the cold shoulder for a couple of hours now. I'm starting to feel bad, and like I should have just dealt with it, but I'm tired of being rejected every single night. So am I seriously the a-hole? Edit. So I went to apologize and found her packing her crap. I begged her to stay and honestly lost my temper because she's leaving me over a dumb fight over a pillow. So all of you who called me controlling got your damn way. She's at her sister's right now. Fudging thanks. Edit 2. I get that I'm the a-hole, but can y'all please stop PMing me? I got the fudging message. You're the a-hole. Men are warmer than women naturally. You're a human heater. It is extremely uncomfortable to cuddle all night. Also, she's probably slept with that thing for years. She's not rejecting you. She's trying to relax, and you're taking it as a rejection when it's actually her letting you into an extremely intimate part of her life. I agree with that. It gets too hot sleeping with someone. I sleep on the side of the bed and chest down. That's really bad. I get it for my spine, but it's the only way I can sleep. And people have been like, why the fuck? Why are you going to be doing this? And I'm sorry, ladies, this man got to sleep by himself. I'm going to turn into the Chernobyl if I stay in your arms. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I have a bad hit from being hit as a car by a pedestrian. What? Being hit by a car as a pedestrian. A pillow between my knees at night. I use a kind-sized pillow instead of a body pillow. Alleviates a lot of pressure on my joints and helps my back and hip tremendously. And my husband is a freaking furnace when he sleeps. We do the same thing his girlfriend does. Hold up, we do the same thing his girlfriend does? Snuggle up a bit to get comfy and rested, then drift to our separate sides of the bed for the rest of the night. The most concerning thing said in his post to me is about being rejected for a fudging pillow. How insecure does one have to be to feel rejection because of a pillow? OP, you're the a-hole. You need to do a bit of self-reflecting and let your girlfriend sleep in a way that doesn't cause her pain and discomfort. Yeah, he didn't give his age, but he sounds young. My dude, if you want to have sex, say so. She isn't rejecting you for a pillow, she's trying to sleep. If you want to either snuggle for a bit before falling asleep or do some boning, use some words and talk to her about it. Yeah, OP sounds very young. Women have wider hips than men, which is most of the reason they typically prefer and require softer mattress. My partner sleeps with a pillow between her legs every night. It keeps her hips from getting sore. Also, falling asleep in your arms. That's not how falling asleep works. Personally, my body turns into a furnace while I sleep. If my partner and I fell asleep in each other's arms, we would wake up at 1 a.m. soaking wet because I'm a sweaty, gross monster. Not saying this is the case with everyone, but bodies generate a crap ton of heat, both male and female. Also, agree with other comments about OP wanting intimate contact. If you're interested in sex, just say so. Nobody wants to fall asleep entangled in another person's arms with hot, stinky breath bearing down on their neck. It's true. Posted by user Ariel4U5. Titled, Am I the a-hole for saying my brother's wife has nothing to be stressed about? My, female 30, brother, 40, met his wife, 38, in college. They got married 10 years ago and now have 2 kids. Kid at 34, that's normal. I never much liked her because I've always felt she's just with him for his money, and I'll explain why. They both finished their degrees, but she never got a job out of it. He did. He earns a good salary, but she has never worked to contribute to their household. Then they had kids, and she would use the kids as an excuse to why she couldn't work, which is whatever, but my niece and nephew are in school now, and all she does during the day is go to yoga with her friends and get her nail and face done. Me, on the other hand, I'm a single mother of a 3-year-old and work as well. The other day we were on a family Zoom call, and my brother's wife said, "I'm so stressed right now," or something like that, and it annoyed me, so I said, "I'm working and have a child to look after on my own. What do you have to be so stressed about?" Everyone went silent, and my brother ended his call on the end. My mum and dad told me I was out of line, but I explained that she is using my brother for his money so she can sit there and look pretty. They said they somewhat agree, but it isn't their business. Well, he's my brother, and I care about him. My brother sent me a text saying that until I apologize, he doesn't want me around him, his wife, or their kids. I don't see why I have to apologize just because I told it how it is. Am I the a-hole? I'ma go with a hard line, yeah. Just because it seems like it's coming from a place of jealousy. That's not okay. You can't say that. That is like a family breaking thing to do. If you don't apologize, you're gonna get banned from your brother's life. You're the a-hole. It's none of your business how your adult brother manages his life, and you must be extremely ignorant if you think work and kids are the only reasons people can be stressed. Tell it like it is, according to you by the way, doesn't equal being obnoxiously rude. Nothing in the world stresses me out more than someone telling me I have nothing to be stressed about. And if there was another sibling who then chimed in to give out the OP saying something like, "I'm a single mother with 5 kids and I'm blind," what do you have to be stressed about? That sibling would, I'm sure, be the a-hole because a-holes are hypocrites. I remember I felt sorry for myself because I had an unplanned pregnancy and my kids were 15 months apart, and it was hard. Then my friend had twins when her first was only 18 months, and I realized things could be harder. Then I saw on the news a woman had twins when her first child was a toddler and was expecting triplets when the twins would be 18 months. I was still stressed and super busy, but I shut up about it. Oh my god, I cannot imagine. My grandmother had 2 sets of twins and a set of triplets, plus 4 individual kids. The youngest is my aunt, now 50, and my mother is 54. They were the 2 youngest, and I believe that my uncle before he passed away was about 8 to 10 years older than my mother, and he was the oldest, and not one of the twins and triplets. 7 pregnancies in 14 years? Superwoman. I've got one and I don't fancy going through that again. Anyway, back on topic now. You're the a-hole. Sounds like you're jealous of her and you don't know what's going on in their lives. For all you know, they could be having a health scare or just struggling with COVID like most of us are. This exactly. I'm a single mother of 2, so I must be so much more stressed out than OP. Stress is relative, and you're the a-hole OP, if is bigger than is. You're the a-hole. You know nothing about her life, how she feels, why their household is structured the way it is, and her marriage. Keep those comments to yourself. This falls directly under the lines of, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I cannot tolerate people that undermine the stress of others, especially when they use children as the end-all be-all of stress. Children can be extremely stressful, but by no circumstances does that mean that sister-in-law is not stressed. This sends me through the roof as I have been on the receiving end of, what do you have to be stressed about? I have children. Pampering yourself does not eliminate all stress. It can be a way of managing it, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't stress there in the first place. Okay, getting off my soapbox now. How many people feel the same way in the comments? I would love to know. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I feel like I got through a lot of good content today. Not all of it is extremely positive, I understand. And I know you guys love the really good positive content on this. So I'll do a whole bunch of not the a-hole posts on the next one. Because admittedly, these were all, yeah, you're the a-hole. So sorry about that. Outro Markee wants us to say hi, I guess. G'day there guys, Outro Markee here. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed making it today. If you did, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about it down below. Also, if you like memes, be sure to head on over to my second channel, Markee. It should be one of the sexy Australian faces on screen, the one without the flag. It's my latest and greatest creation, and I hope you like it. Also, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. You guys do so much good for me, and the support goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the help and support you provide me on this channel. Also, if you want to join the family, links are down in the description below, or click that join button next to the subscribe button. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!